All right, good evening. It's July. First draft of July. All right, good evening.
Yo, Chris, what's up?
What's up, Austin?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man.
What's up, Jared?
Nope. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Hey, little dude. You want to stop hitting the desk? Chris has to make a video here. You're making all that noise.
That's all right, worth it.
Nope. Sorry. It's bedtime here, and so things get a little rocky. Alright. Looks like most people are on. I think what is it? Forest Creek? Is he new?
Yeah, that's his name is Elgin. He's been asking to get in for a while. Finally got him in one.
There you go.
What's up, Nick?
Hey Chris, hey Jeremy, what's up?
Nothing much, nothing much. Yeah, you can say hi. Stinger said he'll be back in 10 minutes.
All right, there's Elgin. So we're just missing. I saw Gus was green. I think we're just missing Young Money and Mikey.
Oh, it's a little bit of a heads up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out of town for like a month or so.
Oh, dang.
I'll still try to hop on the drafts in the Zoom when I can, but I can't make any promises. So if I'm not joining at all, just know that I didn't like disappear or anything.
Okay. All right.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna be in Washington State. I'm gonna be with staying with family up there.
All right.
Nice.
And the summers there are pretty nice usually, so it'll be nice to get out of the heat.
Although I saw like Portland was like 115 yesterday, which is
Yeah,
insane.
but it's not going to be that hot next week, so it just sounds like up there it's a bit of a fluke.
Yeah, there was like, I guess they don't have like air conditioning there because it normally doesn't get that hot. So like old people were like dying and shit, and
Wow,
it was not a good situation. Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, I was hearing about that too. A lot of people don't have AC up there just because they usually don't need it. They usually just need
Yeah,
fans. But
it never gets that hot there. Yeah, unlike like my parents, they have a place out in Scottsdale, and it's like every day 115 right now. It's insane.
Yeah, you definitely need AC out there.
at
Yeah,
least it's dry heat though. You don't have to deal with humidity like we have to.
it's dry heat, and I went down there during the wintertime, and the wintertime was gorgeous. It was literally like 60s and 70 every day. You never see a cloud. It's really cool area actually.
All right, looks like everybody's here. So you ready, Nick?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
All right, so this is usually, I guess this is now the hard spot to pick, but this is not a hard decision at all.
You get that first. Really, like the first few picks aren't too bad, and then
Yeah, I was at the one on Tuesday, and I did not enjoy it.
Well, that's the thing, you just have to pick all over the place just so that you're ready no matter what.
Yeah.
It's trying to get me down. Big boy.
oh, Jeremy's locked in now.
You guys had your chance. No, all right, let's see here. At the 8 spot too.
Is that Pierre?
I know. What the heck? What's
I
up,
haven't
Pierre?
seen- I haven't
Yeah.
seen that man in a while.
I know. It's been a busy time, but all good.
He's all tan, hanging out in the
No.
sun.
I'm just in bad lighting.
Wow,
I was
your
about
shirt
to say,
went,
did his shirt just change colors or something?
your shirt went from purple to black. That was impressive.
Yeah,
I went from crappy webcam to better webcam.
All right.
that was wild.
All
What
right,
color is your shirt? Is it purple?
It looks black now. It was purple. Now it looks black.
yeah, it's
Oh, now he's muted. We'll never know.
Yeah, it shut off right when he said it.
Right when he said the color.
okay. How's that? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah,
All right. It's supposed to be black. So
Okay.
you're
it
seeing
looks
me.
black now. You're good.
Yeah.
All right. Stinger said he's going to be out for 10 minutes, but I hope that doesn't mean like, I hope he still is going to make a pick or put up a cue or something.
All right.
How was
Oh, we
your
already
first-
started.
how was your
Okay, we
university?
started nice and early, huh?
Yeah, everybody was on.
Wow. Except for Stinger, who's up right now.
He was on, but he said he had to leave. Like, yeah,
He said he'd be back in like 10 minutes. I'm like, did you set a cue?
We'll find out
I
here.
guess not.
Nope, definitely not a cue. That was the next up. So
Was that next up? I thought Ezekiel Elliott would be 9.
Wow.
no, Zeke's
fact
not
that
even.
I almost got Zeke at 11.
Wait, where is Zeke? Oh, there he is. Okay, I was gonna say I didn't see him on the board, but that's because he already got drafted.
Yeah, yeah.
I almost got him at 11. That would have been great.
All right, we'll mix it up here. Yeah, why not? There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
How was Universal?
It was good. I mean, it was busy for sure. But we went ahead and bit the bullet and did that fast pass. Paid way too much money, but it's like it was definitely worth it because if not, we've been waiting in hour for each. So it was good though. It was good.
What in the world is?
Which
Disney
Universal, the
doing-
Florida one or the California one?
We think
Oh, we went to Orlando. We were in Orlando for the past week.
Oh, nice.
Is there a Universal in California? I thought that was just Disney.
No, there's a
one
Universal
there.
in Hollywood.
Is there? Okay, gotcha.
Did
Mhm.
Stinger mean to take Mixon? What do you think?
I think he did.
Well, does
You
he like
think?
Mixon? I don't know if he like. Does he? I don't know. I don't think it matters.
The weird thing is he's on auto, but he's green. It's weird.
Because you have
Wow.
to disable it yourself.
Well, he probably stayed on, like he didn't log out or anything. He just left, and then
Oh.
it auto picked because he timed out.
Gibson.
Over Aaron Jones, over Cam Akers.
Yeah, that's
I don't know about
am I
that one,
picking
Steve.
between Aaron Jones and Cam Akers here? We're saying Rodgers is there or no?
I'd say
I
yes.
mean, he's only got till tomorrow to opt out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
until tomorrow, I'll go there. All right. After tomorrow, I'll maybe go somewhere else.
What happens tomorrow?
That's when players can opt out again because of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, they can
So
do
he'll
that?
either
Yeah.
it means basically he'll either be able to like save the 20 million or like if he were to opt out now, he doesn't have to pay back that. I think it is like 20 million to the team. So
But he gets paid. Well, he gets paid like most of his money. I don't think he gets paid like all of it, but he gets paid most of it. But if you choose to opt out, that is it. You are done for 2021. You can't like get traded. You can't. No, you're done.
yeah, that's the interesting thing is the team can't trade him. Then it's like it kind of goes against what he wants, but at the same time, I don't know.
I don't think he's opting out. I
No,
haven't heard
he's
of
not
any
going to
player
opt
opting
out.
yet, actually. Has any player opted out? I haven't heard of a single one.
This year, I don't think
I
so.
haven't heard of a single player opting out yet.
Last year, a lot did.
If a player opts out, is their contract just put on hold for that year, or how does that work?
Well, yeah, that's the way. No, they get paid like a portion because somebody posted. I think it might have been Nate or somebody posted in the Discord about if Aaron Rodgers opts out. But
So the thing Aaron Rodgers would be saving though is he doesn't have to pay back because he would have to pay back the majority of his signing bonus. So that's the majority of that 20 million that he would not have to pay back is the signing bonus. It's not his actual like roster, and not roster, but his salary for the year.
the biggest thing to me is you're going to give up your age 38 season.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but wow, should I go
I wouldn't
through
be
running backs
surprised
to
if he
start?
goes. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes total radio.
What's that?
He just
You're cutting in and out.
Oh, sorry. I said that I would be surprised if he just goes total radio silence up until like the week before week 1, and then he just walks into the stadium and and they don't say a word about it. They just get right back to playing.
Yeah, I mean, he can't. He doesn't need all this stuff.
What he should do is pull the old James Harden trick and show up just incredibly out of shape. Just have no desire to be there, and then you'll get traded.
Yeah, just toss
Like,
like pick sixes left and right.
Exactly. Like James Harden purposely like played horrifically through the first couple of games.
Do I go Godwin here? Mm,
Oh, you hate Godwin.
I do.
I've even drafted him a lot lately. I think you're starting to come around on Godwin.
I think
Or he's
I've
on like
drafted him
therapy
when
or
he's
something.
my third wide receiver. And after the 15th wide receiver off the board. Um,
15 is the magic number there, right?
Yep. Woods.
All right. Stinger's figuring out how to recover from Mixon.
That's not bad.
I hate this start, but I didn't get a choice.
Did you set
Oh,
a Q, Stinger?
I
Oh,
didn't. I didn't
yeah.
expect you guys to start this early.
I know everybody was here on time.
Oh,
Usually it
everyone was
starts at
here.
like 5:12, so I just thought I had enough time. Apparently, I was wrong.
Yeah, normally it starts later, but yeah, like Chris said, everyone was here.
Honestly, your team isn't as horrible as you would think. I mean, I wouldn't take Mixon that early anytime, but
It's not how I usually draft. I usually take
You
running
can
back in the
bounce
first
back.
round.
you can bounce back though.
That's it.
Not
That's
horrible.
the nice way to put it, though. It's not as horrible as I would think. It could be more horrible.
I just mean you got plenty of time to bounce back. players. You know, you're gonna have to hit wide receiver super hard right now, but or do whatever you want. Go for Kyle Pitts, but
Yeah, you may
Oh.
not want to go Pitts here.
Kittle 312, Waller 4-2. Nice value.
Yeah, that's great.
Can you wide
Like anytime I'm
receivers on the
picking
board,
down
though?
there, they're always taken at the early third.
Since we got a few in here from our league, what do y'all think of the Amari Cooper trade today?
I
I'm
was
curious.
I was
Huh?
shocked. I was
Which one?
floored.
I need to look. What was the trade again? I
don't think I
It's
saw it.
Amari
Yeah.
Cooper in a first for
Kareem Hunt, Debo Samuel in a second.
I don't know how to feel about that. Who was the trade with again?
Matt, because apparently people are looking at Matt's team and saying, your wide receivers suck. Let me help you.
Matt and who?
Your wide receivers are terrible. Let me help you out here. He went from having like terrible wide receivers. Now he has McLaurin and Cooper.
Yeah, but what picks does he have left?
Well, he's got a first next year now.
And what did he give up again? What did you say he gave up?
Kareem Hunt, Debo, and a second.
Wait, who did he trade with?
Okay, well,
Forgot who
Pierre.
it was. Oh, it was with Pierre. Okay.
Yep.
What was let's get your thought behind that trade. Are you that low? Are you that low on Amari Cooper this year?
No, but no, it's not like I was looking to get rid of Cooper or anything like that. But I like the idea of getting two startable players as opposed to one. Because I think Cooper, I mean, he's solid, but I don't really see him as a wide receiver one so much as a wide receiver two. I don't think Debo is going to be as low as people think. I'm not super high on Debo, but I just like getting those two pieces. And for a first round pick, I told him I don't go crazy for you know that, Chris. I don't go crazy for rookie picks, so I'm not too worried about it. I didn't feel like giving Amari. I don't feel like he's a star player. You know what I mean? So getting two startable players in a roster where it's that deep because you can flex. You're not really starting tight ends. So I think that the value I got for them will outproduce what I had for Amari.
So is Amari a first, and that is what you gave up, and then you got Hunt, Debo.
In a second.
What was the last part to get? A second?
Yeah.
I would say you got the better part of the trade.
I want to see what happens after this year with that trade. Like that's a trade that I think in the future might benefit you more. Because if Kareem goes to a team that will actually will make him a 3-down back or just a better pass catching back, I could see something like that happening for him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing because it's dynasty, so I figure in redraft that wouldn't be a great deal, but yeah, the Hunt and Debo are both younger, and I think I'll get more long-term value out of them. We shall see. I don't think the wheeling and dealing is done yet.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
they're
no.
going to trade every single day. Literally every day.
well
Like,
Jeremy and I were working on something earlier a little bit.
Hey man, I'm just waiting on you, man. I wasn't gonna
I'm
say
still thinking
anything.
about it. I'm thinking about it.
like if we go an entire day without a trade, it's like, is everybody okay?
But yeah, giving up Kyler Murray hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking too.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get rid of Kyler Murray, but the deal seemed pretty good on my end, and I was like, all right, this gives me. Now, the Rodgers thing is a little scary, but I guess I planted my flag. Rodgers isn't going anywhere, and they'll fix it, and he'll be playing this year because.
Yeah.
I was like, I said you were pretty destined on Kyler Murray because I mean we were before I got Dak. I know I was trying really hard to get Murray, and you seemed like you were gonna hold firm on him.
Yeah, I liked having those four and just like saying, you can use anybody at wide receiver. Then I think I saw a couple moves. I think some of our people are playing for the future and some of them are playing for right now. And I was just like, I'm just going to get crushed by these other wide receivers. And I was like, I just need a receiver. I was like, and I can downgrade at QB a little bit. It's like, all right. I was like, I also have no picks for the future, so I kind of need to fix that a little. So it was kind of a deal that gave me everything I wanted, and I was like, all right, I guess I can't be too greedy. Oh, I'm on the clock.
Yeah, the difference between Cousins and Kyler per game should be what, like 5 points a game? What do you think? Maybe 6?
10.
I think it would be 10.
10? You think it's 10?
10 plus.
10.
You think it's that much?
Kirk Cousins' ceiling is like 25 points.
You think on a per game basis though, like I'm not talking about like looking at the end of the season who has, a lot more points than the other. I'm talking about each week. You think he's 10 points better?
I mean, not each week, obviously, but I think there's going to be plenty of weeks where Kyler Murray outscores Kirk Cousins by 10 or more. Yes.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying each week, if you look at like every week, I don't know if he gives you more than a 6-point advantage, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
I do, but I disagree.
You disagree with that?
Yes, I do.
So that means if Kirk Cousins scores, what does he score on a normal week? Like,
so last year, Kyler Murray beat Kirk Cousins by, 70 points.
So what is that on a per week basis though? That's less than 6 points, isn't it, in a week? My math sucks, but
that's 4.5. But remember, Kyler Murray had that 3-game stretch where he didn't do very well. And I feel like Kirk Cousins had one of his best years ever last year. I don't know if he can repeat that. But maybe 10, maybe 10's a little high. Maybe 10's a little high.
So you said there's only a 4.5 point difference?
That's what it
was. That was last year. Okay, so let's split the difference and say 6 to 7, like what I was saying. All right.
Okay.
So we'll go in between. All right. I think having Devontae Adams over Brandon Cooks, especially if Deshaun Watson isn't there, is a massive gap difference. I think that is, the Grand Canyon in terms of wide receiver difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got the picks on top of it, which was I think that was more the nail in the coffin because it allows me to either do the picks and get something else or save the picks and use them to build up my team. Because I've got a couple older guys.
Yeah, I'm just not personally very high on Brandon Cooks. So he's one head injury away from severe problems. I need to go wide receiver. I should have just taken Josh Jacobs.
Herbert in the 6'6". Ooh.
Yeah.
So early. Didn't he go in the 9th last week? Time we did this?
Yeah, well, on Tuesday, quarterbacks went really late.
Well, seeing him go over Lamar Jackson is a little surprising.
Lamar, Dak.
It's so hard for me to do this, but I have to, I guess. It's so hard, but he's the best wide receiver there.
Forest Creek, is that somebody new? Or was he been there? I just wasn't there.
No, he's new. That's Elgin. He's always on
Okay.
the YouTube asking how to get in. We finally got him in.
Nice.
Well, good.
And if we're being honest, in full PPR, Juju wasn't that horrible last year. Like he wasn't good, but he wasn't as horrible as people make him out to be.
No, he gets a bad rap. A lot of it's expectations. Like he was more disappointing than he was bad, right? Because we expected that he was going to step up and be better, and instead he was worse. Last year, and he was hurt a lot in 2019, but then last year was just kind of disappointing overall. But
I will counter that argument with: are they really going to throw the ball more than they did last year?
Well, that's true.
I'm not saying it's going to get any better. That's not what I meant at all. I just said last year in general wasn't quite as bad as everyone makes it out to be. But
yeah, but in full PPR, the fact is he almost had 100 catches last year, so he's still definitely serviceable. No, but I agree, Jeremy. I mean, yeah, his ceiling is definitely capped because they're going to run the ball a lot more this year. But like compared to the guys that are available still after him, well, let's see, like who's still on the board, right? Hollywood Brown, Brandon Cooks, rookies, Will Fuller, Jarvis Landry. All I do like
that's why I had to go Juju.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably better than those receivers.
I'm honestly more worried about Big Ben's arm than I am them running the ball more. I mean, I know they are going to run it more, but if he can't throw the ball more than like 6 yards down the field next year, then that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but then in comes the quarterback of the future,
Dwayne Haskins.
The good thing about Dwayne Haskins is he can throw the ball more than 6 yards.
To what team? That's the problem.
It's just not very accurate.
Yeah,
he's not to the right team.
He can chuck it though.
I mean, if the ground had hands, he'd be an elite quarterback.
Do you like Chenault? I find myself getting higher and higher on Jacksonville offense as the season approaches. As much as I don't like Urban Meyer for a lot of reasons, I figure the one thing he can do right is at least get them to score points. So I'm okay with it. And Trevor Lawrence, I think people are going to underestimate what he'll do as a rookie.
Yeah, I think the offense is going to be good. It's just who out of that group is the one, producing the points is like on a week-to-week basis. Is it going to change each week? You know what I mean? Is it going to be ETN this week, Chark the next week, LaVisca the next week? That's what my only issue with it is. But
yeah, I'm rising more on Robinson the more stuff I hear out of like the camp and stuff and the news that Urban likes the way he runs and stuff, and ETN is just like all he's doing is the pass catching and working with the wide receivers. So I think it's going to be like a 1-2 punch. Robinson's going to be there 1 and 2. They'll bring ETN on third. They might do some stuff with ETN on second. For receivers, it's always been the same for me. They went out and got Marvin Jones this season out. I just think that's going to be the veteran guy. Chenault's going to be the slot / pass catching back. And DJ Shark is just left in the water.
Yeah, that's probably a good analysis. I think Chark is the guy. After this year, they may just move on from him, honestly.
Well, that I actually feel I'm the opposite on. I think Jones is going to be the guy that kind of plays that third role, and I think Chark's going to be their main receiver. I mean, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Just from the news I hear, like, Urban's just not ecstatic about Chark, and, like, it's like one thing or another. He's always critiquing him about his route running or just his effort or something. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't see this going well for him. So.
Okay, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yes, and Chris, thank you for sniping me twice on running backs. And I know this is a problem. He knows exactly who I'm going to take, so he gets him right before me. So I should have known better than the draft next to him.
He'll just snipe me on Mark Andrews. That's fun.
That's good value for Andrews.
I know that's why I was hoping to get him.
Oh, that's who I was
You
gonna
still
go.
got. I think that's better that you got Fant at the 8-4, honestly, than Andrews.
Not gonna lie, I just got sniped there. It's too early for Mike Williams. Let's go Devo.
You might get sniped though. You never know.
Oh, nice.
There he goes. Yeah, that's funny.
Oh,
Commentators curse.
Yeah.
you got to get your guys in these drafts.
Yeah, I thought about it for about
If you
2
hype
seconds.
someone up, they're gone before you can grab them.
I do think
Ooh.
he's better than Mike Will though. So
I think I can snipe Stinger this coming round. I'm not gonna say it.
Yay! I know exactly who you're gonna take. It's fun.
I don't think he'll make it back to you. We'll
You don't
see.
think so?
I doubt it.
I almost took it.
he's not making it past me. So
Yeah.
you,
I don't-
Jeremy.
I almost took him in with the 8-4, but
I wish you would have. Then Fant would have fell to me.
I was deciding between the two of them, but I needed a receiving tight end. I'm not going with the other tight ends on the board because I don't like either of them.
I don't mind my start, but gotta start getting some of these other pieces.
Oh, there he goes.
Assuming that's who it was.
Yeah, it was Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, I was like, first time I'll get Mooney in, I think ever.
I think in the last 3 drafts, Mooney's gone to me in the 7th or the 8th, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, 9th round in just regular draft. Look for, I feel like Williams, Mooney. Trying to think who else might fall there. Gage is one I say. 9th round's a good one, like spot to grab them.
I still have major concerns about the Bears offense though.
Do you have major concerns with Fields or just major concerns that it's going to take a while?
I think they're gonna if they start off the season with Fields, I like that a lot more than them switching Fields sometime during the season.
I think Fields is starting in week 4, but I'm not sure.
Well,
we know Dalton's starting week 1. They already said that's a fact. Like it's not going to change. Unless there's a hurt, it's going to be Dalton, and we don't know how long it'll be.
They'll get off to like an
Dalton. If they win, he's not. They're not going to switch.
Have to make a switch, which I just don't think it makes sense doing that. I would rather just start.
But don't they face someone like the Rams week 1? Like,
yeah, it's if they. I feel like if they start with Fields at least. If I was a head coach, that's what I would do because then I could be like, yeah, I'm starting a rookie quarterback. It may not be pretty for a little while, you know what I mean? Because if they're awful this year, I wouldn't be surprised if their head coach and GM gets fired.
But that's exactly why they're not going to throw Fields in there right away because they're both in the hot seat. They know they have to win. They're not going to necessarily trust a rookie to go out there early on. That's why they've said, look, at least we know Dalton knows what he's doing. He's not going to, throw a bunch of interceptions. So they're going to play a real, conservative to begin the season. But on the other hand, it's like you're saying, if Dalton struggles, if they lose, 2 in a row, they'll probably also have a quick hook. So it can go either way. If they're winning with Dalton, they're not going to throw Fields out there at all. But if Dalton struggles, who knows? We might never see him again. That's why I'm kind of leaving that situation alone. Like in in best ball drafts, Justin Fields is going like QB 20 or something, like way too high. So, we don't even know if he's going to play half the season. He might, but it's too risky. All right, Chris, I'm going to take a running back that I've never, ever drafted, so you can't snipe me just for that reason.
Right, let's see it.
Ramadre Stevenson. Let's do it.
I was just about to say that.
To handcuff Damian Harris.
Yes, do
Yeah.
it. Do it. Get the handcuff. High-end
That's
handcuff.
that's the backfield you really want to own. As many people out of that backfield as possible.
Oh,
And get James
Here it
White
is.
the next pick afterwards.
Boom.
What?
Okay, I don't know about that one.
That's an ugly pick.
I know you said you're picking guys that you never picked before, but oh man.
I mean,
That's a
what if he
stretch.
ends up like a 3-down back there? I mean, it's possible.
Hey, so what I'm hearing is that he might be the lead back this year.
That's fine. He can be
I'm
the
not
lead back. It doesn't
surprised.
matter.
I mean, the Singletary, I think, is a bust, but
The problem with Moss is when he goes out there and fumbles twice, he's going to lose his job to Singletary. Then Singletary is just going to do above average work, and then they're both going to be in there at the same time. You never know who's going to play.
But the problem is they both will go out there and do below average work. And that's what the most likely scenario is. And then they'll just end up with Josh Allen running the ball. That's probably.
Yeah, that's the problem. Josh Allen keeps getting in the way of Moss's greatness.
They need to have Zach Moss take the snap and then hand it off to Josh Allen.
That might work better.
Yeah.
maybe Zach Moss should be the quarterback and Josh Allen's the running back. For a year or two, see how it works.
I feel like my running backs are the more. Jeez, let me pick the player.
Go.
I feel like I know who Clapton's going to go here. Yep.
I mean,
I was hoping he would make it to me somehow, some way.
I mean, him in the I remember he used to start off in like the 10th, right? And then he climbed up all the way to like the 6th. And now he's going like reverse back to the 10th. It's kind of weird.
Because
Is Chris hyped him up?
yeah.
Yeah. It's the Chris
Hey Pierre, can you underline that word could though? Like, can we just
even if he does, what's taking over the backfield? 12 carries, 15 carries, 12 carries. No catches.
Oh, he can catch the ball. That's
He can, but will he?
I think Singletary catch better than he did last year?
It's like Damian Harris. So I didn't know this, but I just saw something where the Panthers targeted their running backs sixth most of any team last year. Not the Panthers, the Patriots. Sixth most of any team. And Damian Harris got 7.
well, that's because James White got, all those catches.
Well, point being, I don't think Josh Allen isn't. He's not. Is that your article or something? Is that why you posted it?
No. It's just a news thing I saw because I get the updates.
The 3 running backs I was planning on drafting at my spot each got taken in a row.
Well, at least you know they're good running backs.
That's called fantasy football right there. Go. Here's one for you, Stinger.
Ugh.
Oh,
Okay, that's not more gross than Zach Moss. Okay, Chris.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, it might be more gross because really, like, what does David Johnson even have left at this point?
But look at that backfield. Like, it's so bad.
I know, but I could see anybody coming out of that backfield, honestly.
I
True.
think it's just filled with veterans.
Sign Adrian Peterson, and then they got the best running back in the league.
Go.
Sign Frank Gore.
Isn't he like 40 now or something like that?
35. He's the oldest running back in the league.
Is he? He's not even on a team right now, is he?
No, he's
No.
a free agent.
Not yet.
Yeah, he's just waiting.
I think someone will pick him up. I don't know who. but-
35. I feel like he's older than
Ah,
that.
my God.
I feel like he's been
The
around
difference is
forever.
Zach Moss is he's on a good team, so he could at least score touchdowns and be, front running mode where they can run the ball. Like there should be no Texans that score more than 5 touchdowns all year.
All right,
Oh,
I looked
that's
it up. I guess how old Frank Gore is. I looked it up without looking.
35.
No, he's older than 35.
37, 38,
38. Yeah.
Dang.
38. Okay.
Is Adrian
I wanna-
Peterson 35?
I could
He's
look it
got to
up.
be older than that too.
I'll look
Well,
it up.
maybe not.
Doesn't matter. He's retired.
Is
Adrian
36.
Peterson's 36.
I got sniped with Cole Beasley there.
And he's still on the Lions officially.
Those dudes' legs have to be like.
No, he's retired.
Good pick, Stinger. I was gonna take
Wait, Peterson?
him. No, Emmanuel Sanders.
It was super weird. It was like the quietest retirement ever for what was an amazing running back.
Adrian Peterson didn't retire, did he?
Oh wait, no, you're right. Sorry, I misread it. It says Adrian Peterson is an American football running back who was a free agent. So yeah, he retired.
Yeah, he came out and retired like a month or 2 ago.
Oh, didn't know
I thought it
that.
was weird how quiet it was. Like nobody said anything about it. I'm like, well, that's the Lions for you. I mean, geez.
He was kind of overrated.
I mean, he was one of the best running backs in the league for a long time.
I was being sarcastic. He's an amazing running back.
I don't know what to
I
think.
don't think amazing's the right word, but
Adrian Peterson, he's a
Then what
top.
was he?
He's a top 10 running back all time. I mean,
He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer.
yeah, easy first ballot. Top 10 running back, maybe even higher than that. He may be top 5 running back, honestly, all time.
You just didn't get to
Mm.
see him in his prime, or we're too young to remember it.
He was so good with the Vikings.
I think the top 5 running backs is staying the same for a long time.
Usually doesn't. There you go. You got James White.
If we had a 13th round, it would have been Ramondre Stevenson.
If you want a good laugh, just look up that guy's highlights in college. It'll make you crack up every time, honestly.
And we did months ago, right? I think before the draft, right, Chris? We did a top 10 rookie receiver, or we did running backs and receivers.
Yeah.
and I was, kind of looking through just to figure out the top 10. I saw Stevenson. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I would put him into my top 20. Like, he just looks like he's running in sand.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So that's why I feel pretty confident in Damian Harris.
No, I think Damian Harris is fine.
I know he just doesn't catch passes.
He's like a 10-point guy.
You think Sony Michel will get any work this year?
Yeah, I think he'll get some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the first draft? Logan Thomas is going to go undrafted?
Yeah.
I could
pick it
change
right
that, I guess. I'm going to go. If Rodgers is there, I think this guy's still a top 10. So I'm going there.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, he's still going to be a top 8 probably tight end, honestly, if Rodgers is there. Even with regression.
Well, since everyone's assuming Aaron Rodgers won't be there, I won't pick him.
Well, I almost took him instead of Trevor Lawrence, but I was like,
This is the first time I actually took a quarterback relatively early.
Yeah, I've been looking at the wide receivers that were there and the fact that he already had 2 running backs. I mean, I think Josh Allen there is a fine pick.
There he goes, Logan Thomas.
Oh, he just
There he is.
way to do it. Yeah, way to keep him alive.
All right, who wants to grade?
I think we make Pierre do it. He has been on here.
Has Pierre graded before?
He's graded once.
It's been a while. All right. Well, save the best for last. So we'll start with my team. We'll end with Nick's. So,
Thank you.
actually, we'll go to Chris's, who sniped me at least 3, maybe 4 different times. Okay, so Eckler, Adams in the second round. That's still pretty good. Deontay Johnson. Kind of interesting, weighted on receiver. I thought he'd go receiver again, but he grabbed Waller instead, and because that was a good value. Got Gaskin, just so I couldn't, and then he got Lockett. This year's breakout player, Trey Sermon. So that's a good deal there. Let's see. We got the wide receiver 3 for Jacksonville. I don't know about that. I do like those late round picks. Brian Edwards is one of my sleepers. So you got Lockett as your third receiver, but Waller's your tight end. So that kind of makes up for Eckler, Gaskin, Sermon. Yeah, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is back and Devontae Adams is, top 5 receiver, then I think this is a solid 8. All right, Ale did sort of the modified 0 RB, not exactly because he pulled the trigger on Sanders, but he got Zeke, 3 stud wideouts, got Kyler Murray, so he's got a stud quarterback. I'm not as high on Andrews. I prefer Fant or Goddard, but that's still a good spot for him. So good value there. Sanders, Drake, and Murray are decent, to back up the running back spot because Sanders is, he could go either way, right? We don't know what Sanders is going to do this year, but I do like this team overall. I like the build. I would give this one an 8.5, actually, just because I like all those players. I like Zeke where you got him, of course. You like Godwin where you got him. I like getting Kyler Murray at that spot and Andrews. So Stinger, do you want to grade Stinger based on how you started? Because I know you didn't want those 2 guys.
It's fine. I think I built around it.
Yeah. Okay. So based on what it is, knowing that you might not have gone Mixon second, you still, you could have 2 really good running backs there. You, of course, got the Chiefs little stack. Hill, Thielen, Anderson, Landry, solid. I guess the thing is those wide receiver 2 through 4, Those are really more high floor guys. You don't necessarily have anybody who has like league winning upside, right? Same with Devontae Parker and Emmanuel Sanders. Those guys are all solid floor guys. So you're really just counting on your running backs to have huge seasons. I think that's the thing, is Mixon and Edward Hilaire are kind of be the crux of what happens with that team. But you got Josh Allen, you got Noah Fant, so that's pretty good. This one probably more like a 7 to me, just because of that. It's just there's a lot of risk putting the chips in with those two running backs based on that. Like we always say, you should play it more safe early and then take those chances middle and later on. And this is kind of a reverse of that. But again, that you had to build around what you had. So it is what it is. All right. Jeremy got Chubb, Jefferson Woods, Moore, very solid. Kareem Hunt, great RB2. Claypool as your 4th. That's pretty nice. I'm surprised he lasted that long. James Robinson, that's really good as your RB3. Connor Hines, Debo. I'm a fan now. So this is good. Very nice. No complaints with this team. I give this an 8.5.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a solid team.
That's really a solid team. Yeah, you got really good value, especially in the middle rounds. I mean, Hunt is 5th round. That's where he goes. But Claypool in the 6th, Robinson in the 7th, and Debo in the 8th. That's all really good. Sorry.
Yeah, probably best team so far, honestly.
Bagoon went Kelsey 1st round, but at the 7. That's pretty much the earliest you'll see Kelsey go when there's not a tight end premium. So then that means Gibson's your running back 1, Evans is your wide receiver 1, Chase your wide receiver 2. I feel like there's a lot of making up to do. And of course, we did a whole video on that, right? Talking about what happens when you take Kelsey first. I don't mind Kelsey as a 1st round pick, but to me, it would have to be like 10, 11, or 12, right? I think that's just a little too early for not having a tight end premium. So you're rolling the dice with the running backs, that Gibson, if stays healthy, that Davis is the guy there all season, that Carter actually is the starter. That Chase is the guy, the main receiver in Cincinnati. So, you got good players. It's just there's a lot of ifs on this team. So I probably can't go higher than a 7. Gus Bones. All right. So Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris. It's a good pair. Ridley, Devontae Smith, Tyler Boyd, Antonio Brown. Pat Mahomes and Goddard. That's good. Getting high-end starters at each position. Some good late round picks there, taking a chance with the Hardman, breakthrough. I'm not big on Hardman personally, but that's not a bad place for him. Penny, I like taking him late. Same thing with Marshall, kind of getting slept on. So good. It's a good young team, good young core. I'd say this is probably 7.5. This team might actually turn out a lot better as later on if we know that Harris is a stud and that Devontae Smith is the main guy in Philly. So definitely a lot of upside here. So that's good. All right, let's see. Clapping, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Cup, Galladay, Swift, Juju, Chenault. I really like your wide receivers 3 through 6. Because we already talked about Juju. I really like Chenault this year. I really like Elijah Moore in general. I think Bateman's going to get overlooked just because he's in Baltimore. You got, possibly QB1 this year, Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I like the players you got. I mean, you're still kind of basing most of this on the running backs that you have in that 1-2 punch, right? You need Henry to do what he did last year or similar last year before, Aaron Jones, but those are really safe players. So I like that you did exactly what I said. You got really safe players in rounds 1 through 3. And then you have some upside in those middle rounds with guys like Chenault and Moore.
And I'm
go 8.
I'm off Swift, but in the fifth, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Like I think he returns value in the fifth. It's just when I can't take him in like the third round. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, fifth round's good, but even so, think about it. You got him in the fifth. He isn't your RB2 you took in the fifth. He's your third running back, and then you backed him up with those receivers later on. And I think your receiver depth is just as good. So
Yeah.
Because thinking about it, if you had gone receiver instead, I mean, who would you have gotten? You could have gotten like a Lockett, a Claypool.
Claypool probably, yeah.
Claypool probably. I mean, personally, I'm not crazy about Claypool this year. I don't think he's going to necessarily outperform Juju, so I think that's fine. All right, Forest Creek. I don't know if Forest Creek's on here watching, but welcome. I mean, didn't know I was grading, but getting Cam Akers, especially 2.9. I mean, that right there is league-winning stuff. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Odell. I mean, as your third running back or receiver, that's fine. J.K. Dobbins as your third running back. That's an interesting choice to get a third running back instead of a second receiver there, though. But Dobbins late in the fourth, that's pretty good value. What do y'all think about taking Dobbins there in the fourth instead of another receiver? Because he took a receiver on the way back, but then there weren't a whole lot of other receivers taken in the fifth round in general. But what do you think taking a third running back in round 4?
I think he's stuck flexing Dobbins now. That's my only knock against it, I guess.
It's good value, but it's like sometimes the value's good, but it's not necessarily what's best for your team. You know what I mean? Based on the construction of your team, you have to overlook the value that's there. And it's hard sometimes to do that.
I think it really killed it for him because, I mean, he had Kamara, Akers, Lamb, great start. If he had gotten like Higgins, Judy, Ayuk, whatever, they're at the 4.9, and then got another receiver at the 5.4, I think that would have been an excellent start. I mean, I still think he had a good start, but I just think Dobbins there really hurts him.
Yeah, he could have even gone. He could have gone Higgins there, and then he could have taken, depending on how high he is on Swift, he could have taken Swift a spot before me. And I don't think there's a huge difference between Dobbins and Swift, honestly, in terms of production.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's your plan. Like Jeremy said, you got it right. You're basically stuck starting Dobbins as your flex, unless you. I mean, but why would you take him in the fourth if you weren't going to start him anyways, right? It's like, oh, well, I could always flex out Will Fuller, which doesn't seem like the best idea, unless you're stacked there otherwise. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's a case whether you're high enough on Dobbins, you think he's the best player available, but it's like you said too, it's best player available isn't always the best choice for your team. Roster construction is probably the most overlooked thing when you're drafting, right? It's building a good team. It's not taking the best player in each round, because the best player, in round 4 might be a quarterback. But if you already drafted a quarterback in round 3, then you don't take him, right? So it doesn't make sense. So
my other thing, or I guess an agreement with you for T. Higgins, is I feel like Joe Burrow 8.9. I don't know if that's high. It seems high to me, I guess. But it seems like he was targeting Burrow. If you're going to target Burrow, Higgins is at least his number 2 receiver, if not number 1. So that's where I'm like, okay, if you have that much faith in Burrow, why would you not get Higgins?
That's a good point too. And actually, it's not that Burrow in the 8th round is terrible, but in our drafts, Burrow is usually a last round pick or second to last round. So he really didn't need to do that. So that was kind of a reach. And I just noticed there's 3 Ravens, which, I mean, I guess in and of itself isn't terrible, but so I mean, I do still love the start. I mean, he's got 3 really good players at the top there with Kamara, Akers, Lamb, and it's not like he's got bad players at all. But just because of that, I'd say probably a 7. All right, Mikey. Mikey, you on here? I thought I saw you on here.
Yeah, I'm on here.
All right, there we go. Okay, Saquon, got Brown, Thomas, Higgins, very nice, and then Montgomery, and then Hawkinson. Love Hawkinson there at the hometown pick. Got to get at least 1 line. Oh, you got 2 lines. You got Jamal Williams too. I see. All right, but I love that start because, that's what I'm about, getting the running back, the 3 receivers at least. And then you got a really solid RB2. Waddle Moster, a little early for Ruggs. A little early for Ruggs. I mean, I don't mind him as a sleeper, but you probably didn't have to take him there. You could have taken a guy like Gallup instead, but that's okay. Tannehill, yeah, that's not bad. I mean, you're playing a late round quarterback, so especially we've noticed the fact that Burrow was taken early, and then Lawrence, and Stafford were taken before the last round. So I think that's pretty. I mean, it's fine. It's either Tannehill or Brady, right? So I really like this core. Do have some upside. Do I like it better? Do I like it better than the other teams is the question. Because Jeremy's probably in the lead right now. I mean, let's compare Barkley to Chubb, and then you got Brown, Thomas, Higgins versus Jefferson, Woods, Moore, Montgomery or Hunt. Yeah, I think I kind of do. I'm gonna give you a 9 on this one because I really like all the picks you made.
Thanks, man. That's my first 9 on here, so happy to get it.
Have a great team, man.
I never
Yeah.
say it, but I think the difference maker between those two teams is the fact that he has TJ Hawkinson and Jeremy has Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference maker for me.
And it depends what you feel, but like for me, I got Hawkinson, as solidly as a TE4 right now, like in my rankings, and Gesicki, despite my Dolphins fandom in fantasy, I'm not crazy high on him just because they're going to throw it to other tight ends. And now they have other receivers, in the mix. So I don't feel great with Gesicki as my starter. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right. That's exactly right. That's a big difference for me.
Thanks, guys.
So I guess I haven't asked this question with Barkley's injury and him. He is missing games, right? At the beginning of the year, they've already stated that.
No, they said
Huh?
they might limit his workload a little bit, which he's not expected to miss any. He should be ready for training camp. Actually, is what they're thinking. It's just
Okay.
instead of giving him 25 carries a game for the first couple of weeks, they cut that to maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 carries a week or something. I mean, touches a week. They may do something like that. Because
Okay. I pushed Kamara and Henry. It's just a little bit, but
yeah.
Honestly, the
Yeah.
reason I went Barkley was because the only other 2 guys I was looking at were the guys that went after Henry and Kamara,
yeah.
and I feel like all 3 of them have question marks. Derrick Henry doesn't have an injury, but there's that curse of like the biggest season of his career. Like, is there going to be a drop? And he doesn't really have the pass catching upside of the other 2. So I don't know. I figure all 3 of them are kind of like the same risk. So I just went with a guy that I haven't picked before.
Yeah, that's fine. I remember reading about the injury, and I thought it was like could be ready week 1, and that they were going to limit him even if he was. So that's where I'm like, all right.
It sounded to me like it's one of those things where like we're going to limit his workload until we're losing week 1 and it's on the line, and then we're going to put him out there the whole game.
Yeah,
That could be it too. So
if we get around to like closer to the season and then there's still stuff like he's not, participating in training camp and stuff like that, then yeah, I would not touch him that early.
Yeah, I feel like we still got plenty of time
okay.
to examine his position. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When they talk about projecting like snap counts, 3 months away, like it doesn't mean anything unless you hear like definitely like going to start week 1 or not going to play. Yeah. But with him, that's exactly right. He's not going to get maybe a full workload week 1, but that's different. Like if it was Derrick Henry, like, oh, he's not going to necessarily get his full workload. Then you could probably, not drop him down a spot or 2 just because he's more dependent on volume, right? Getting the ball, and he's always better in the fourth quarter, right? That's where he breaks those big runs, and he's not a big pass catcher. With Barkley, he's one play, he takes it to the house, right? So he's less dependent on volume. But
yeah.
Do you think
that's why, honestly, look, after McCaffrey and Cook, every single running back in the entire NFL has question marks, right? They all do. Barkley is the health, Kamara is the quarterback thing, Henry, like you said, the curse, Taylor is the workload, everybody's got something.
Do you think Henry's going to be more efficient this year? Because I think he's going to have less stacked, at least he'll have less stacked boxes to run against. But
that's a good question. But, I've done, there's a really good article about fantasy stats that matter. And as far as the correlation, which actual things relate to fantasy points, and stacked box percentage actually doesn't correlate strong. Usually the running backs that see the highest percentage of stacked boxes, it's because they're the best running backs. And the really good running backs, it doesn't matter. They're going to see the stacked boxes, and it doesn't reduce their effectiveness. And there's some running backs that hardly ever see stacks just because they're more pass catching guys, or they're in, less often, and they're not better because of it. So there's for some players, there's actually a negative correlation. They see more defenders in the box, and they're more productive. So,
okay,
intuitively that makes sense, but it actually isn't really a thing to worry about.
gotcha.
Any chance you could link that article either here or on the Discord or something? That sounds really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll put it in the Discord.
Thank you.
And not surprisingly, the most helpful thing is for running backs. The number one, probably number two, and number three most important thing that relates to fantasy production for running backs is touches. Like if you're on the field and you get the ball, that's it. So we look into all those other things, but honestly, it's like who's going to get the ball, who's out there. That's it. That's what matters.
Could we say he's going to get more possible scoring opportunities with Julio there? I mean, the offense should theoretically be better, right?
I mean, yeah, you could look at it both ways, though. You could look at it as well. They won't lean on Henry as much because they have Julio, and they'll be more efficient in the passing game. You know what I mean? So, with Henry, how many touchdowns did he score last year? Offhand, I don't actually know. But it was double digits.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like, God, what was it? It was definitely over 15. I don't remember.
Okay, it was 17.
Okay.
Is he going to score more than 17 touchdowns? I don't think so. That would be really, really, really hard to do. And it might be really hard for him to sustain 17 touchdowns just because, again, he got that because he carried the ball 378 times. That's pretty insane. Is he going to carry the ball 378 times? No, even if Julio wasn't there. With Julio there, they won't need to run him 378 times. So he probably will go down across the board in all his stats. Now, if he goes down, could he still be a top 5 running back? Well, of course, but I don't think there's any way he'll be better in any category.
Gotcha.
I mean, the other thing you got to think about is Jonnu Smith isn't there anymore. So that could make an effect on it.
Yeah. I mean, Julio is just replacing the targets left by Jonnu Smith, and Corey Davis. So it's not going to make probably as huge a difference. They'll be more efficient as a whole team offensively, but I don't think it's going to change too much for Derrick Henry, except that his numbers will probably go down just because they won't need to run him as much.
It's just crazy that even with that just insane season last year, he was only the third running back. He didn't finish as the top running back in PPR, which is kind of wild.
Exactly. And that's what Chris has been talking about this for at least 2 years, right? That's why Chris says, I don't think it's worth drafting Derrick Henry because if everything breaks right like it did last year and he's the leading rusher in the NFL, he's still not the best fantasy running back. And the worst case scenario is he just falls apart in the middle of the field because he's like, oh, wait, I carried the ball 378 times last year. I'm tired. And then, he falls apart or he just isn't as effective. So,
but you got to keep him top 5, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, who are you going to take over him? Nobody other than
who above him.
So, but like I said, that's the whole thing. There's risk with every single running back in the entire league, really, except for maybe Dalvin Cook. Doesn't look like there's any risk, and you can't say injury because injury is a risk for every single player. And then McCaffrey, which same thing.
Should we have this injury discussion again?
No. Every single player is injury prone, and none of them are injury prone.
All right. So that was mine. So I think you're on Young Money, right?
Yeah. So speaking of Dalvin Cook, it's nice to start number 2. You got Dalvin Cook, you got McLaurin, you got Amari Cooper, who I'm no longer interested in. You have Curtis Samuel. Okay, Javonte Williams at the 4. That's pretty early for Javonte Williams, don't we think?
That's the earliest I've seen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
In our
3
draft,
or 4 rounds, really.
I mean, it's not bad if you think he's going to be the man, then I would wait till it's closer to the training camp and we see what, kind of work he's getting as opposed to Melvin Gordon before I draft him that high. Cause again, you don't need to draft him that high, but we'll see. It could pan out.
I was telling the other guys on Tuesday that I saw a different draft on another YouTube channel where Michael Carter went in the 3rd round, which was
that's
quite
it's
interesting.
just not necessary.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
That's the thing. It's just not necessary. Like you want your guy. Look, nobody else was probably going to take Michael Carter in the 3rd round or the 4th. So
and James Robinson went in the 2nd. So that's really, yeah. It's like,
well, that's when you zig when everyone else zags, right? You don't follow and take reach for running backs just because everybody else is. That's when you load up on stud receivers. But
that's when you hope it's a paid league, and then you put like all your money into it. Honestly,
yeah, it's like I'll raise.
Yeah, exactly.
So another rookie, Kyle Pitts, is a little early for me. I'd rather have. For me, just because I'm not all in on Pitts this year.
It is for me too, but I mean, I'm surprised he fell to the 6th. Like usually he's going in the 4th or the 5th in this league.
Yeah.
I tell people I wouldn't draft him until maybe the 6th, and so.
Well, I would rather have Chenault there at that spot, but that's me. That's just me. Of course, you got Russell Gage and then Pittman. So his receivers are solid. He's basically hoping that the rookies break out, right? Because you got Pitts at tight end and Javonte as his RB2. So it's just a little risky of a team. It's nice having Dalvin Cook, but still, it's more like a 7.5 for me.
What do you think about Curtis Samuel there at the 5-2?
It's also a little early. Not terribly early, but did he go before Ayuk?
Yeah. So Ayuk is at the 5-4.
Yeah, I would definitely have taken Ayuk. Yeah. But we'll go 7.5. Because I thought Lamar Jackson was a pretty good value too, though. All right. And then Nick, let's see. Of course, got McCaffrey, Allen, Judy. Chris Carson. All right. I'm a fan. Corey Davis, Josh Jacobs as your RB3. That's pretty solid. I'm not generally a Corey Davis lover. I think he's fine as your 4th receiver. Like I said, I would probably have preferred one of those other receivers that went after him, but that's not going to break your team because you got Darnell Mooney, the future GOAT, as your other receiver. Stafford and Logan Thomas. Yeah, no complaints. I think this is a solid 8. All right, who wants to roast my team based on my?
You want me to do yours?
Yeah.
You want me to do it?
I already know what you think about all my players, Jeremy.
We'll
have nice things to say.
Okay.
Grade, all right, Jeremy.
Who's going to give him the highest grade? That's what I want grading.
We'll do an average between ours in case one of us is
Okay. All right.
All right. So we got Diggs, Metcalf, Kittle. Oh, 0 RB. Okay. Diggs, Metcalf, Kittle, Julio, and then Chark. And then your running backs are Etienne, Harris, Moss, Gainwell, and White. So not exactly a world beater RB room, I would say. I will say I do like some of the wide receivers you got, though. I like that I like Diggs and Metcalf. I think they're definitely in my top like 4 personally, top 5 for next year. Chark, obviously, we talked about him, but he has got the talent, but we'll see about opportunity and production. This team is basically my issue is obviously the running back room.
Well, let me just say it would have been very different, but Chris took Myles Gaskin right before I was going to, which he knew. And then, of course, Trey Sermon was waiting for me, and he took him right before me too.
Yeah, I will say I think ETN will produce RB2 numbers. I do, in full PPR. It's just I don't know if you have an RB1. I don't know. I don't think ETN is that. And then RB2 wise behind him, I don't know if you have that either. So
not really.
Me, pretty much, I have to look at the running backs, and I'd probably go 7 for this, honestly.
Yeah, especially, yeah. I kind of, well, I mean, when you go 0 RB, sometimes it works out. If you don't get your targets, though, running back, it kind of hurts.
That's the thing I've noticed about 0 RB is sometimes we get the highest grades we get out of the 0 RB teams, and then sometimes we get the lowest graded out of the 0 RB teams, just depending on, where the running backs end up falling. Because sometimes you can do that strategy and you end up with 2 really solid backs, and then sometimes you end up with some guys that you wouldn't love having to play every week. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's a high risk reward strategy because like I know probably my best team I've done with you guys was when I was picking at the 12 spot and did the 0 RB, and I got 2 solid guys at the 5-6 turn. You just have to rely on getting your RB targets at the turn.
Yep.
So it can really pay off. Yeah.
If I would have got one of those guys, like I think in round 7, if I could have landed either Michael Carter or Trey Sermon, like I would have been much happier with it. And I kind of took Dak as kind of shit, well, my team's going to suck now anyway, so I'll just at least get a good quarterback. And, like I kind of just figured because who else is left in at that point running back? They're all flyers. So that's the thing, this is one team though. If you do it this way and then you wind up getting this year's James Robinson off waivers, then all of a sudden you have the best team in the league, but that's a really big if. So,
and what I will say too is usually we see one of those running backs come back to your 5-12 spot, whether it is Myles Gaskin, Mike Davis, Javonte Williams. One of those guys usually comes back to that, and this just happened to be a draft where none of them came back, so that kind of makes it tough.
That's true.
Yeah, I think I would be interesting to stop the clock right after Patrick Mahomes and just ask you the question: do you think one of those 4 running backs makes it to you? And I think you definitely would have said, "Oh yeah, one of them will make it to me," and none of them did. Between Davis, Hunt, Sanders, and Gaskins, I think you would have took any of them at that 5-12, and you would have been happy. And the fact that none of them made them to you is pretty much. And then you went Shark, which the Shark pick is I guess I'm down on him. I guess you think he's the number 1, but yeah, I think that's where you were just like, oh, I hope one of those RBs. And then when you didn't go, I don't know what you could have done there to make up for those RBs not falling to you. Maybe, I don't even know. I'm trying to think.
Could have, I guess, gone Sermon over Chark, but 5th round for Sermon's a little bit early, so that's.
Well, I was thinking maybe get his QP. Or no, that doesn't work either.
That still doesn't help him.
Well, so Josh Jacobs
the way that the board fell.
Yeah, I think Josh Jacobs was the RB he needed. And he could have got him in that 6th pick, but that would have been early. So I guess that's the.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Jacobs over Etienne. It's not a big difference. I don't think. So, yeah, it's like you said, it's real scored. But as far as Chark, I mean, I trust your inside sources, what you're hearing close to the situation. So if the coach is down on him, then yeah, I'll start fading him for sure.
I do think they employ a lot of like quick pass plays with Lawrence this year. Having like ETN out of the backfield, like quick throws to Chenault, get him, in open space because that's kind of what I mean, if he runs the same similar offense what he did in college, he loved those quick passes to, those real athletic guys and just get him in space. Because in college, if you think about it, that's how he used, and I think this is how he's going to use Chenault as well. I mean, that's how he used Curtis Samuel. That's how he used Percy Harvin. That's how he used all those type of players. I think he tries to make Laviska into that style type of player.
Mhm.
Well, they've made that comparison, Etienne, that he can be like a Percy Harvin, / Kurt Samuel type, where he's going to get some carries, but also, maybe more receptions than carries. But, altogether, he could go over 1,000 total yards, score a handful of touchdowns and, have some big games. So, like, I'm okay with 18 as an RB2 if you're waiting, as an RB1. I mean, not so much, but.
Yeah. And that's I would
Yeah,
assume
and I
that's
agree
why-
with you. So.
Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree with you on the rating, so I won't even.
Yeah, and
So-
I assume that's probably because I remember they came out and said that they wanted Kadarius Toney actually, and he is that Percy Harvin type of player in terms of that gadget, does all those type of plays. So I
Thank you,
assume they
Giants.
either try to make either ETN or Laviska take kind of that role, but we'll see.
But that's also why we should be a little higher on James Robinson, because it makes it sound like he is the primary running back. Like he's going to get most of the early down work and he's going to get plenty of carries. Of course, not nearly as much as last year, but he'll still be very serviceable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, what is a first, if he gets like, he'll probably get the first down work. He'll get a decent amount of second down work, but in full PPR, I don't know, if I wouldn't take him over like a Josh Jacobs even, because I think that is what Josh Jacobs is. And we kind of know, we know Josh Jacobs should at least be a first and second down back. I mean, we know that. I don't think Drake is going to take any of that work from him. So if I'm drafting a back, knowing this is what I'm trying to say, I guess if I'm drafting a back, knowing that that's his role, at least I know that's kind of safe with Jacobs. You know what I mean? I know that's his role. I know he's going to get that goal line work. Hopefully, I think
they're right next to each other. So
yeah,
you went in
I
7-1, and I got
they're similar
Robinson in the 8. So
yeah, I see Jacobs and Robinson is very similar, and right, I think they're right next to each other. They're pretty much the same type of guy that they're going to be. I think Kenyon Drake will get a fair amount of touches, but like you said, I also think Jacobs' role is still pretty secure. But I think they're pretty much both guys you can get maybe 6th round. There's a low end RB2, or preferably a high end RB3, but this depends on the drafter.
Yeah, if I have a Jacobs in like the 7th round as my RB3, I think that's fine. I like him there.
Yeah.
Because he can be an RB2 for you on some, like if he has a good matchup, I don't see why he couldn't produce, solid numbers on certain weeks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right.
this has been
I feel good to be drafting again.
All right, guys.
Glad to have you back.
Yep. Glad to see you. Been awful quiet. I feel like you were awful quiet up until today. Then you did the trade, and then you came on here.
I've been out of commission. I was in Florida for how long has it been? 10 days.
Hope y'all had a great trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys still planning on doing the Dynasty video or?
Yeah, we did it. Just got to edit it.
Oh.
It's easy.
How long is it?
Up
30
till
minutes.
when though? Like, did you do the recent trades or did you just do the initial draft?
We did whenever we filmed it, whatever it was at that point. But we didn't cover all the trades. We just talked about everybody's team one by one.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. So even since then, it's already changed because we've had 3 trades.
even the video we're gonna publish is already changed. So
Yeah.
Was it
Hey,
before?
Austin, look at your messages.
Oh, you send me something? All right.
Yeah.
Was it before or after the Dak trade?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
before the Dak trade,
Before,
Okay.
I think, or maybe it was that. I can't remember.
Was it? So wait, have I already done my trade with?
No,
No. So
definitely not.
there you go.
You said y'all film on Mondays, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would have been after because I think the Dak trade was Sunday.
All right then. Then it was after.
Like that. No, it should be interesting. Do you guys got anything else in the woodworks? I know you guys obviously film.
They
on
always have
Wednesday.
videos coming out.
Yeah, well, we got that, and then we have what's the other one we have coming? I forget.
I'm trying to remember. That was a
Oh,
Couple days ago.
it was early round values. So basically, like our favorite picks of the first 3 rounds, like who we think the best value is for each of the first 3 rounds. And then we're gonna do that, I think, for the middle rounds too.
Okay.
should do like an ADP risers and fallers too. Those are always good videos.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like those.
All right.
Yeah. If y'all have ideas, we're always
Yeah,
open.
we're
I mean, right now it's kind of a dead period because there's nothing going on. You know, it's hard to find stuff. But
Yeah, I'd say that, like I said ADP risers and fallers, and then like buy lows, sell highs for like dynasty or something like that would be cool too.
Are any of you guys on the fantasy football subreddit?
No, heck no. I don't do that anymore.
I'm in it, but I don't really use it. I post stuff once in a while, but I don't really have time to be on Reddit.
I don't post anything. I just like cruise and just see what everyone else is posting. But they're doing this thing where they do like a player a day, where they like analyze one specific player and like do like a deep dive on like their stats and what they should look like for next year. And I just thought it'd be cool if you guys did that, but for like teams, like a video is like analyzing a team and and each player's like fantasy value. That might be
Team by team.
Yeah, or like a guy you want on that team and a guy you like don't want on that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be a cool
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
that might be a little more your speed.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah, we can try that out. So we're open, and we could do maybe a division per week. Let me see. That gets us to the season, right?
What do we got? We're July. We got 2 months.
Yep. I just looked it up. Week 1 is the 9th of September. So
So
And go ahead. I was just gonna say, are we gonna do a live like fantasy draft with most of us in it, and like a real one, like
You know, redraft?
yeah,
yeah, since there won't be any trades or anything, we can do it live.
Yeah, no trading allowed.
Yeah.
no, just a regular redraft. I mean, I wouldn't say give us too much more time, but like maybe just like 30 more seconds to maybe even talk over what we're thinking. Because I mean, we're doing these pretty quick. Like we finished this thing before 9 o'clock. We've just been talking that long. So, and I mean, we finished before 9 o'clock and did grades, I think. So we're pretty quick
The
with
30-second drafts go super fast now.
it. Yeah, you're just
Because everyone kind of knows who they want now, which may change come preseason and stuff like that. So.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we could do it. I love 30-second draft clocks. That's where the real fun is. You got to be on your toes.
That was the first 8-hour draft I've ever been a part of, and that was I don't know how many I could do, to be honest.
I mean, I was cool with it.
Oh,
I'm just more people complaining.
I'm cool with it. What I meant is like I don't know how many I could do. Like after I'm done with it, like I need a break for like a little bit before I hop back in another one.
Yeah, I definitely did not do what I expected, and so that was the fun part, I guess, for me. Like I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
neither
well, I
did
guess
I.
I'm all in on this.
Well, it
I
was
didn't think I would
amazing.
trade at all.
Just that one move I made going up for Akers just messed up. As much as I like him, it's just messed up my whole draft. Like the rest of my team, and then I didn't really have a choice but to just gut it. And now I feel like at least I have somewhat of a future with the team. Before I was kind of in that situation where this year I was probably like the 9th or 10th best team. And then it probably wasn't going to get a whole lot better going forward. So I was always kind of going to be in that place. So I'd rather be the 12th best team and then hopefully sometime in the future be the best team.
There you go.
There you go.
Because if there's no trophies handed out to the 10th place team,
True.
no trophies for sure.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right, guys.
well, I got to hop off.
Yeah, good job tonight.
See you guys.
See you guys.
See you
All
guys
right,
later.
I'll see you later.